Welcome to Cut the Woke Crap Part 1. I decided to switch to Cut the Woke Crap rather than Cut the COVID Crap um, because I think we're done with COVID. I mean, if there's still any doubt, if you still feel like getting vaccinated after everything you heard, I hope I hope you do so, because we need more numbers to see whether vaccinations work or not. And I got uh, even after I got rid of my warning about talking about ivermectin in that I discussed in my last video. I got another warning from another video where I talked about ivermectin and remdesivir. So if you get COVID and you still think remdesivir is good, you want to allow your doctor to take it, by all means, do it. You've had your chance to find things out for yourself. If you still believe them, by all means, do it. Um, don't care anymore. What I do care about is uh, the subject racism, mainly because I don't care to be called a racist. I mean, people seem to find it such a big deal. Now we seem to have had a, a racism inflation in terms of under what circumstances you can be called a racist these days. Let me give you an example. I get an unsolicited phone call, and it's an Indian accent um, talking about um, the telecom provider that he represents. I tend to hang up the phone very quickly. You can call me racist because of that. Yeah, I don't care, to be honest. I'll still do it. I'll still, based on the, well, where that person is from in terms of what company he represents and their accent, I'll behave differently. If it's an Indian accent, I'll hang up quicker. Not because I got anything about Indians, anything against Indians or against the Indian race. I'm just talking about the accent here. I don't know what it looks like, but yeah, on average, I can guess what they probably will look like. But it's just an experience. Like that happens often enough to think like, probably with an Indian accent, I it's an unsolicited call that I don't care for. Again, do we have something against Indians? Nothing at all. I mean, um, I've I've been in a taxi relatively recently, and I asked the taxi driver where he's from, and he was luckily not insulted because some people maybe think it's a form of microaggression. That's another subject that I find very strange. But anyway, he said he was from India, from the Punjab region. I was like, oh, cool. Do you play Bapi? I just happen to know a card game that's called Bapi, which I think is a really good game. So we have something to talk about. Great. Um, so I asked where he's from, just to strike a conversation, and yeah, I got nothing against Indians at all, despite me hanging up the phone quickly in those particular circumstances. And it's about an accent actually, and it's not about a race. But yes, I do judge people by their accent and by their race and by how tall they are, how old they look, um, all these kind of things. And you know what? I change my judgment very quickly after interacting with people because they may be smarter than you think, or dumber than you think, or they may have particular interesting things to talk about that can um, be interesting for a conversation, or they can be completely boring, and it's more a reason to end the conversation, whatever. But judging people by by whatever thing is a completely natural thing to do. That doesn't mean that I justify racism, but yeah, what is that racism then? I mean, take another example. Football supporters throwing a banana at an opponent who is darker skin color. I don't think it's a good thing. I think it's not good to throw things to people in general. But is that does it mean that they're racist? Well, analyzing it, I think it's a racist gesture. I mean, it's they do that based on the color of their skin, but are those supporters, hooligans, whatever, are they being racist? Well, I generally don't think so. Generally, if some people of the same race or color plays for their team and he scores, they'll be very happy. They want to be they want their team to win, no matter what race or color there is. That's a general attitude of the supporters of teams. Um, so yes, it's a racist action because it's based on race. But are those people racist? Yeah, I don't think so. They would just do anything they can get away with to bring down the opponent. You know, uh, if they can throw bananas, they will throw bananas. If it's forbidden, then they better not. But just like if they know that somebody is gay and you cannot you cannot make comments about that, then they'll I don't know, they'll say that they'll sing that he has a bike without a saddle or something, and see if they get away with that. The supporters do stuff to bring down their opponent in whatever way is acceptable. And if the very same people were on their team, they would applaud them for every uh, every action that makes their team win. So racism in that context is yeah again racist action doesn't mean that people are racists. Um, and also drawing that conclusion about their behaviors, like I mean the Indian accent, it's an accent that I base my in the phone conversation that I may base my conclusion on. That doesn't mean that I'm a racist. Like an accent is different than the skin color. Um, it's similar to Trump. When he sees people in the morning, he says, likely, I would assume, good morning. Does that mean that if I say good morning, that I'm a Trump supporter? No, that's completely independent. Not everything that it's not that if you take one item of a specific person or a specific group that you support everything that that person or that group does. It's something completely independent. That the conclusion that if you do a particular action that you must be a racist, that is strange behavior, and that is why I don't care if people call me racist. I mean, I get friends of different races. Um, I I judge people on based on many different things, and I revise my judgments very quickly. Yeah. Um, I mean, it's important to give people equal opportunity. That's very important because, like if you look at the, f- the your football team in the 19 I don't know 1960s, probably still, um, if you're living in a Western country. most likely all white people. It could very well be that back then, when there was still uh, segregation in at least some countries and maybe leftover racism, that people with darker skin color didn't actually get the opportunity to join a football club. That is denying equal opportunity. That I think is very wrong. I mean, if they don't get the opportunity, then on average, then it's less likely that they get to the top as well. But these days, in the Western world, take again football as an example. There's many players of different origins, different race, different accents, whatever, and they play there because they are the best players. And the supporters support them, the teams support them because they want to win. They want the best people on their team, no matter what their color is. They could be all white, they could be all brown or all Asian. It doesn't matter. Most likely a mix. And again, equal opportunity. That's important. You got to start at the like denying clubs denying people based on color, that I think is wrong. But like naturally, once that is out the way, yeah, it's not in their in their interest for top teams to have to limit the potential because they limit themselves to a particular race. Yeah, that's just naturally not what they would do. Um, what the you, you could argue, so some people argue like, yeah, the people in, let's say, African American communities are disadvantaged because of their skin color and they don't get out of it and da 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 da. And I think, I mean, I don't research this. I haven't researched this yet, but I think the main factor is how much money those people have and how much money their parents have. That's a determining factor of how to what school you can go or to um, what opportunities you can buy for yourself basically or for your kids. So would darker skinned people be purely because of their skin be more disadvantaged? Well, in the US at least, there's maximum quota depending on skin color um, against the whites and against Asians to a certain extent. Is that the right thing to do? Um, I personally think that you're not going to solve anything that way. I mean, you should give people equal opportunity, that's for sure. But would you now have one to people with the very same capabilities? You would want to deny one an opportunity based on their race? Yeah. You could say like, yeah, but on average, the darker skinned people have less opportunities because they're from poorer neighborhoods. But that is the cause it's then it's not their race, it's their income. People with lower income have less opportunity in general. If you think there's something wrong with that, then you have to do something about income distribution or welfare distribution or something like that. But it's nothing to do with the color of the skin. I mean, even though the average darker skinned American, the average income for the darker skinned American may be less than of the whiter skinned American, it's still the. I mean, take. Should I feel sorry for the children of Michael Jordan? They're darker skin as well, but their father is extremely rich. Should I think that those children are disadvantaged? No, I think they're very advantaged. And you know what? I don't have a problem with that. Nothing to do with with the color of their skin, but they have a very rich parent, and they will do the parents will or parents the parents will do a lot for their kids specifically. Yeah, it's a normal thing, right? You do more for your own kids than other people's kids in general. Yeah, I don't see what the problem with what the problem is with that, and I don't see it as a that discrimination is an issue there at all. If you want to live in a system where everybody has to be equal, and more like communism or something, yeah, that can be a political system that you favor. Not my thing. I very much believe in meritocracy. I mean, and that's I think the structural racism that we had in the West until the 1950s in general. I think was solved mostly because people started to value meritocracy. No matter what your background is, if you show that you're good at something, you will be accepted. Not because of the color of your skin. The color of your skin is immaterial. If you are good, I mean, it's gonna be. It must have been hard for the first baseball player, the darker skinned baseball player, because it was they had separate leagues for white and darker skinned people. Um, but once the laws were changed and they changed people's perceptions as well. I mean, look where we are now. I mean, top sports teams are completely mixed in general. Um, I made great progress in especially in the West. If you look at the leftover racism or slavery in the whole world, where do you see it still? In Africa, here and there. Africans against other African races, or within Asia. Yeah, some Asian races are s- sold even as slaves of other Asian races. Do some research about it yourself. But in the West, it's great progress since the in the West, great progress since the 1950s, 1960s. Um, if there's anything in the West, I mean, there's basically you can have presidents of whatever race in the West in general. Do you see that in Asia or in Africa? Don't think so. I personally don't have a problem with that. Um, that's based on my skin color in most Asian countries, I couldn't get citizenship uh, because I'm not from that race. I wasn't born there. Whereas in Western Europe or in the US, the race is no problem to get a citizenship. So and and there is racism the other way around. Again, university quotas based on race. Um, I think it's um, it's important to not make a big deal out of it. Um, and again, I'm not supporting pure racism, like as in not giving people opportunity, the same opportunity based on their race. But If you hang up the phone based on an accent and people calls you racist because of that, make it their problem, not your own problem. Um, anyway, that's my first cut the woke crap video, and more to come in the next couple of weeks. See you next time.